What they're doing right now is absolutely insane and crazy, and quite frankly, very creepy. so, but I believe, and have long believed, that this is a sign that we're nearing the fulfillment of certain end times Bible prophecies. Hey guys, Britt here. Welcome to End Times Bible Prophecy. Make sure to hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons. And so, what is this creepy, crazy thing that I'm talking about? Well, it's this news story I'm sure many of you have seen. This is from CNBC. It's titled, Elon Musk shows off updates to his brain chips and says he's going to install one in himself when they're ready. So we're going to read through this and we're going to pick out a couple of the key points. And then we're going to talk about what does this have to do with Bible prophecy, with the end times, and where is all of this headed? Because while this is somewhat speculative, we're talking about the Bible prophecies we're going to look at are not speculative, but how they may be fulfilled and how it's relevant to this is a bit speculative. We've been talking about this for quite some time, as we'll see, and now we're seeing it come to fruition. So let's read on. This says, Elon Musk health tech venture Neuralink shared updates to its brain implant technology during a show-and-tell recruitment event Wednesday night. Musk said during the event that he plans to get one of the implants himself. Musk said 2 of the company's applications will aim to restore vision even for people who were born blind, and a 3rd application will focus on the motor cortex, restoring full-body functionality for people with severed spinal cords. We're confident there are no physical limitations to restoring full-body functionality, Musk said. Neuralink could begin to test the motor cortex technology in humans in as soon as 6 months, Musk said. Obviously, we want to be extremely careful and certain that it will work well before putting a device in a human. But we've submitted, I think, most of our paperwork to the FDA. Musk also said he plans to get one himself. You could have a Neuralink device implanted right now, and you wouldn't even know. I mean, hypothetically. In fact, in one of these demos, I will, he said. So, here we've got Elon Musk saying that he wants to implant brain chips and run human trials in as soon as 6 months on this in order to restore vision for the blind, in order to restore full body functionality to those who are paralyzed. Now, I would encourage you to be a bit skeptical about this, for one. I mean, Elon Musk has a history of making bold claims like this. Sometimes they turn out to be true, but other times they turn out to not be true. But regardless of what happens with Neuralink as a company and its ability to do these things, this technology is coming. I personally believe this is probably going to fail because I don't think the technology is there yet. I think that we're more likely to see these types of things come out of government programs where they have vast resources well beyond what Elon Musk has, where they're using artificial intelligence and molecular manufacturing to bring these types of events, these, restoring sight for the blind and full body functionality for the paralyzed. All of that is coming, whether or not it comes from Neuralink. But I think this is very relevant because ultimately, what is he trying to do? We just went over what are these things that he's trying to do. Restore sight to the blind and restore full body functionality to the paralyzed. Has that ever been done before in human history? Well, Jesus did that, right? That was, and in this article, Musk says these would be miraculous if they were brought about. So, I want to turn to this book here that I wrote 5 years ago. It's called Racing Toward Armageddon: Why Advanced Technology Signals the End Times. We're going to read some excerpts from this that are directly applicable to what Elon Musk is talking about here and link these to Bible prophecy. Now, this was written in 2017, or it came out in 2017. It's written before then, and many of the articles that I used as the basis for this book were articles I put out on Rapture Ready back in 2007, 2008. And they're pointing to this very thing that Elon Musk is talking about. Does that mean I have some sort of special insight as a prophet? No, absolutely not. It means that I have a biblical worldview to be able to see these trends and see where this was coming, because I had read the Bible, and the Bible has been shouting and pointing us toward these types of things coming in our near future for quite some time. So we're going to go over an excerpt from Racing Toward Armageddon right here, and how it's relevant to what Elon Musk is saying. So this is from chapter 10 of that book. It's titled, Are You the Messiah? So think about what he's claiming will happen as a result of this technology as we read this. It says, while John the Baptist was in prison, his disciples came and told him about Jesus, his miracles, and what he was saying and doing. So John sent them to find Jesus and ask him this, Are you the Messiah? Are you the one we've been expecting? What Jesus said leaves no doubt as to his identity. Jesus told them, Go, tell John this, the blind see, the deaf hear, the lame walk, the lepers are healed, the dead are raised to life, and the good news is preached to the poor. This satisfied John. Why? Because John's disciples saw and heard these miracles. They didn't just take Jesus' word for it, although they could have. They were eyewitnesses. John knew the messianic prophecies. So when he heard about these miracles, he knew who Jesus was. He knew they signaled the Messiah's arrival. He knew hundreds of years before Jesus walked the earth, Isaiah said, when the Messiah comes, he will open the eyes of the blind and unplug the ears of the deaf. He knew Isaiah said the lame will leap like a deer and the mute will sing with joy. So in John's mind, this settled the question. Jesus was the Messiah. But what about everybody else? Many other people witnessed the miracles of Jesus firsthand. After meeting with Jesus, it was common to see the following. The mute could speak. The deaf could hear. The paralyzed could walk. The blind could see. Because of these miracles, many believed in Jesus, but others refused to believe, even though these miracles verified his identity as the Son of God. What did Jesus say about these people? He said, I have come in my Father's name, and you refuse to receive me. But a day will come when another man comes in his own name, and him you will receive. I believe that what Jesus is talking about here is the Antichrist, a direct reference to the Antichrist and people of the world accepting Antichrist as the Messiah. The Bible tells us that the world, all those whose names are not written in the book of life, will worship the Antichrist. So it makes sense they would identify him as this messianic figure, right? So let's read down a little bit further. We'll skip a few paragraphs here, and we'll come to this section called The Antichrist Counterfeit Miracles. And this is part of what's directly applicable to what Elon Musk and Neuralink are involved in right now. It says, in the end times, most of the world will reject Jesus as the Messiah. But as Jesus said, they will gladly follow someone else who comes in his own name. That man is the Antichrist, and he will deceive most of the world into following him. But how? One way he could do this is to perform many of the same miracles Jesus performed. Keep in mind, these won't be true miracles. They'll be false or counterfeit miracles. But the world won't know the difference. We've already discussed advanced technology and its immense power, so it shouldn't surprise you to learn advanced technology will be able to perform many of the same miracles as Jesus. Advanced technology will pave the way for machines able to repair, rebuild, and restore almost every aspect of the human body. Such machines will regenerate human cells, tissues, organs, and entire biological systems. And with them, the Antichrist can counterfeit nearly every healing miracle Jesus performed. For example, advanced technology will eventually allow us to 1. Restore the vocal abilities of the mute. 2. Reverse paralysis for those with spinal cord injuries. That's exactly what Elon Musk is saying is one of the chief goals of this Neuralink brain chip. 3, restore sight for the blind. That's another goal of this brain chip for Neuralink. 4, restore all sound and hearing for the deaf. And 5, cure any physical disease now afflicting humans. The end result? An era in which the blind will see, the deaf will hear, the lame will walk, the mute will speak, and the sick will be healed. Guys, we are on the verge of seeing that era come to fruition right now due to advanced technology. Again, Neuralink may fail in its goals, but if it does, other companies will come behind it and they will succeed. That's just the path that we're on. Technology is advancing at an exponential pace. And exponential curves eventually go vertical. And when you're on that vertical line, astounding, seemingly miraculous things are going to take place. And the Antichrist is going to be using those astounding things to draw attention to himself. Think about, what does the book of Revelation tell us about the Antichrist? It says he controls the entire world, all people, every people, nation, language, tribe on the face of the earth. People marvel and say, who can make war against him? So the Antichrist will be able to say, in an era of technological advancement like we're talking about here, in tandem with my arrival, we have world peace, and the blind see, and the deaf hear, and the paralyzed walk. Guys, he will trick much of the world into thinking that he is this Messiah figure that deserves worship. So this is where we're going with all of this. But it doesn't end all here, because what else did Elon Musk say? He didn't just say, hey, I'm going to restore these abilities that were lost. He said, I'm going to take one of these chips for myself. Well, as far as I know, Elon Musk isn't blind and he isn't paralyzed. So why is he telling us he's going to take on one of these chips? Well, let's read another excerpt from the same book. Chapter 5, Transhumanism. Now, this begins with an intro talking about the Hollywood film franchise Terminator. And if you remember that franchise, there was this artificial intelligence called Skynet that people invented, and Skynet became conscious, sentient. It decided, I'm going to wipe out all the human beings, and then began to wage a war of machines against humans. And we hear people talking about this all the time, ever since, probably before then. And so, right up to this day, I hear people saying we can't create this artificial intelligence because it may become more powerful than we are and attack us. And I've long said that's absolutely absurd. It's not going to happen. How can I be so sure? Because certainly these artificial intelligence programs, they are surpassing the human mind. So how could I be so sure that they aren't going to turn on us? Well, I can be sure because human beings are arrogant. They would never allow a technology they create to surpass them in power and ability. They would simply merge with those technologies. So that's what I proposed here. It makes sense. What's more powerful, artificial intelligence or human beings infused with that same artificial intelligence? So it wouldn't be able to surpass human beings who are part of it. They would be part of it. And that's what many people like Elon and others are calling for. Now, I'm not saying Elon Musk is the Antichrist. We won't know the identity of the Antichrist until the tribulation period. And Christians, I'm a Christian. If you're a Christian, we won't be here when that takes place. But what I'm saying is these technologies, these trends are taking place and they're setting the stage for all of this to happen. So let's read on in this chapter 5, Transhumanism. It says, when humans merge with technology. So what do I mean when I say humans will merge with technology? What I mean is, in an effort to improve themselves, which is what Elon Musk is talking about, because again, he's not blind. He's not paralyzed. Why does he want to take on one of these brain chips? People will use advanced technology to modify their bodies. This isn't something futuristic. It's been happening for a while. For example, an athlete might take steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs in an effort to gain an advantage. In a similar way, a person in the future might choose to implant a computer in his brain to increase his intelligence. Think I'm nuts? I understand why you might feel that way. But look around, we're already in the initial stages, and we have been for a long time. Pacemakers are a prime example. Is a pacemaker natural? Nope. It's technology people use to improve their health. Artificial heart valves and prosthetic limbs are similar examples. Think those are natural? Obviously they're not, but if necessary, 99 out of 100 people reading this wouldn't think twice about using them. Now, I realize these technologies are simply trying to restore a person's natural abilities, such as if you needed your sight or paraplegic needed to be able to walk. But what about improvements that aren't medically necessary, which is what Elon's talking about? What if you could build a direct connection between your brain and a computer? Would you? Many will. What if you could connect your brain directly to the internet or a local network? Would you do it? Again, many will. This is what I mean when I say humans will merge with the technology they create. And in all likelihood, this will occur until little distinction exists between human and machine. And guys, that means the era of transhumanism is also coming. So when Elon Musk talks about implementing this brain chip, that's in addition to, he's not restoring natural abilities that God gave him. He's trying to improve upon God's design. It's a transhumanist moment, and this is something that group has been pushing. We hear this from the World Economic Forum is promoting transhumanism. One of their adherents, Yuval Noah Harari, has talked about transhumanism. He believes that humans evolved from, he believes in this monkeys to men evolution, right? And so what's the next step in that? Well, the next step in that evolutionary timeline is human beings merging with technology and taking on what he and others see as godlike abilities, immortality, the ability to cure all of these evils of the world, the ability to have dominion over the entire world, to break free of their biological limitations that God set in place. And we've heard that somewhere before. If you haven't read Psalm 2, I encourage you, go read Psalm 2 and see if that sounds familiar, this desire to break free of the biological limitations that God has put on human beings. So all of this, guys, points to, we could spend hours going through this. Again, these excerpts we read came from Racing Toward Armageddon, Why Advanced Technology Signals the End Times. You go read that, there's a lot more in here. But I believe that all of this is pointing toward going toward the fulfillment of the Tower of Babel prophecy, which was not just a story, it was a prophecy of things to come. So we've got a video we did a couple of months back called the Tower of Babel prophecy. If you missed that, go watch that and you'll see what we're talking about. But all of this, guys, is taking us closer and closer to Armageddon, because since the Garden of Eden, man has been engaged in a spiritual battle against God. That spiritual battle is going to become a physical battle as human beings take on these, quote, godlike powers by augmenting themselves with technology, by merging with technology. And again, while a lot of this sounds like, oh, well, at the rate we're going, it'll be hundreds of years in the future, Britt. No. Technology is advancing exponentially. So while this sounds sort of nutty right now to have brain implants, In a few years, it'll be commonplace. People won't think twice about it. This is moving at an exponential pace, and it's taking us. It's on a track. It's has us racing toward Armageddon, toward the judgment of God, toward a direct physical as well as spiritual confrontation with the Lord and Creator of the universe. So, guys, what do you think? Are you going to sign up for Elon Musk FDA trials and have a brain chip implanted, a chip implanted in your brain? If you are, leave your comments below. But I want to caution you first. If you're thinking about signing up for one of these early brain chip implants from Elon Musk, I'm sure you can go back on the internet and find a video. I think it was a couple of years ago where they rolled out the Cybertruck at Tesla. And he said, it's indestructible. And he took a baseball bat and slammed it into the side of the truck window and it shattered. So until all the bugs get worked out in the early versions, you might want to hold off on the brain chip. That's just my advice. But I will not be getting a brain chip. But guys, I can laugh about this stuff because God has given us joy and laughter in these times, right? And I know where all of this is headed. I know Jesus is coming back and Jesus will rule from his throne. All of this is going to work out in the end. It doesn't mean that terrible things won't happen between now and then. But I know in the end, Jesus will be victorious. And guys, Jesus is the one I've placed my hope in. And if Jesus is your foundation, you have nothing to worry about. If you don't know Jesus, I encourage you to invite him into your life. Say, Jesus, I'm a sinner. I've fallen short, but I trust in you for forgiveness of my sins and what you did on the cross. You gave your life, you spilled your blood as forgiveness for my sins so that I may have eternal life, and I trust in you. Do that, and you will have peace that surpasses all understanding, so you can see things like this going on around you with people implanting chips in their brains. And what did we talk about before? Mosquitoes that had medicine in them so they could fly around and inject you with that medicine without your knowledge and consent. All of these crazy, insane things. You can laugh at them so that you won't go insane like those people that are doing them. But you can know what your future holds, what your destination is. You'll know who you are. You're a child of God. You'll know your purpose here on earth. Go out and spread the good news, the gospel, and you'll know where you're headed. And you'll know how it ends. And there's no fear when you know how it ends and you know who is in control. So, guys, don't let any of this stuff get you down. And leave your comments below. Are you going to get that brain chip? Let me know if you're going to get the brain chip again. What I hope it works out well if you're one of those early adopters of the brain chip, because some of the Elon product rollouts have had some bugs that need to be worked out. Now, I wouldn't want one of those to be involve my brain for sure. So let me know in the comments if you're going to get brain chip. In the meantime, make sure to like and share this. God willing, I'll see you on Monday. Bye. If you want to learn more about the end times and Bible prophecy, make sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter and get your copy of my free ebook, 7 Signs of the End Times. Just follow the link in the description to get your free book. Also, make sure to check out all of my books. Just look up Britt on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iBooks, Google Books, Kobo, or anywhere books are sold. Thanks for watching today, and until next time, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith.